changes in culture that we've seen, men and women have different challenges coming up. With me today to talk about how it is that women have their spiritual resolve undermined by modern culture is Teresa Tomeo. As you know, the host of Catholic Connections on Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio. She's a columnist for our Sunday Visitor and the author of many books. Her newest is Walk Softly and Carry a Great Bag. Things have changed so much just in the last generation. It's stunning, the pace of change. And let's talk a little bit about the kind of things that are unique to women in this challenge.
Growing up, in the 60s and 70s and graduating from college in 81 is that even though we've come a long way, baby, so to speak, women, those who are married, those who have children, even if let's say they're single or if they're divorced and they have children, they are carrying the majority of the burden. Housekeeping, the daily chores, the child rearing, past sin. Many women are post-abortive. Many women haven't dealt with that. Many women are still using birth control or maybe are trying to grapple with those teachings still. Maybe they've come back to the church and they're trying to figure this all out. So despite all of our advances, we are still not sharing equally with men. And that means that we're busier than ever. And so how do you find time for God? I love what Pope Francis has been saying the last few months. He's been handing out those little pocket New Testaments and encouraging people to carry God with them through the Gospels. One of St. Teresa's favorite and most famous sayings is, God is in the pots and the pans. So he's in the everyday details. He's with us in everything, but we don't realize it because we're so busy. We wonder where God is in the first place.
You would hope that Catholic women would have a bit of an advantage here because we have a church that's directly related to Christ's commission. We have the Eucharist, which presents him. So we've got a little more tangibility there, But it's, again, finding time.
So many of us, and myself included growing up, and this is all part of my reversion, we were sacramentalized, but we really weren't evangelized or catechized. And there are so many people that I run into, even at Catholic women's conferences, who are not really sure where they're at. There's still somehow that disconnect where the world has really come into our lives in such a huge way that we really have a hard time separating.
Living with contradictions like that can be very wearing and stifling to spiritual growth.
And I think, too, what happens is we separate, and we have Sunday-to-Sunday Catholics, or even those who are going to Mass, trying to make Mass and keep their Sunday obligation. That's it. That's all they were taught to do. Okay, well, beyond Sunday, what is there? They may not be in a Bible study. They may not be listening to Catholic radio. So trying to cross that divide, that gap, and reach women who are in the pews, but maybe not quite there yet. And again, also strengthen women who are there. We look at the core teachings of the Church, but I approach it in kind of a fun way. Because I poke a lot of fun at myself, which is very easy to do because I have a lot of material to work with. And I talk about real life things. I talk about housework. I talk about the work schedules. And so really just trying to get women to stop and to go back to basics, get some balance back in their life. And they're going to have this continuing challenge of imbalance if they don't first focus on God.